Because every test, be it language test or driving test, needs some preparations for passing actual test, because it might be very different from day-to-day driving on the roads. Hi everyone, it's Ruslan here, and today I want to talk about how to get driver's license in Ontario province in Canada. Note that the process will differ between different provinces, and here I will describe specific requirements for Ontario because it's where I live and where I'm getting my driver's license right now. So the first step of obtaining your driver's license in Ontario would be to like this video and subscribe to this channel. According to the updated rules, if you have driver's license from another Canadian province or another country, you may drive in Ontario for up to 60 days. But after that, you will need to exchange your license for a Canadian one. But I would recommend not waiting until the last minute to make that switch, especially because your driver's license can be used across Canada as your ID card, so you will not have to carry your passport around anymore. You are welcome. The rules and requirements for exchanging your home country's driver's license for Ontario's driver's license highly depend on the country of origin, such as countries with exchange agreements or cars, small trucks and vans have specific programs that allow the drivers from those specific countries to exchange their driver's license for the Ontario ones without the need for extra tests or driving exams. On the other hand, if you are relocated from a country that does not have a driver's license exchange agreement with Ontario, still your previous driving experience may be acknowledged to get you reduction in driver's licensing requirements. However, you must complete several steps before you can obtain that Ontario license, which will include the driver's exam. I will leave all the links in the description box below so you can learn what programs you are eligible for. But in any case, check out an international driver's permit from your home country. You may also need the translation of this court. Then take all the documents with you to the appropriate government office in Ontario. For example, Service Ontario that help with getting driver's license plates, health cards, birth certificate, etc. They will guide you through the process and may provide with temporary driver's permit while you are waiting for your driver's license card to arrive in your mailbox. But Service Ontario does not issue licenses to the new residents because of the tests required. So you may exchange or apply for an Ontario license at any drive test center. You will need to visit drive test center anyway if you are a new driver or your existing driver's license cannot be exchanged to the Ontario's driver's license immediately. In general, there are 3 driving tests required to obtain a full driver's license in Ontario. First, so-called G1 test, which is a knowledge test of the road signs and road rules. Then G2 exam, which is the exam that tests your basic driving abilities. And finally, the most advanced driving test, which is called the G test, which will require from you to do different maneuvers on the highways inside and outside of the cities. If you don't have a driver's license yet, you may enroll into driving school or get personal lessons with instructor. The duration of the course may vary, but it typically lasts from 3 to 6 months. To get initial G1 learner's permit, you will need to pass the knowledge test, study the official MTOs Ministry of Transportation of Ontario Driver's Handbook. It has road signs and traffic rules you will need to memorize and pass the test. But more importantly, there are apps available online for self-testing, which I would highly recommend to use before you take the actual exam. Again, I will leave the links in the description box. Generally, you will have to wait for 1 year between the G1 exam and G2 exam to have enough time to learn actual driving. So try to take the G1 exam as soon as possible. If you have a driver's license already, your waiting time can be reduced or waived completely, like it was in my case, if you have enough driving experience already. For the practice test or the actual driving exam, regardless of your driving experience, consider taking lessons from a local Canadian instructor. They can help you navigate the specific requirements and give you the confidence and maybe even some tips on passing actual test. Because every test, be it language test or driving test, needs some preparations for passing actual test, because it might be very different from day-to-day driving on the roads. Finally, after passing the G2 driver's exam, you will have 5 years to give and pass your final advanced driver's exam. For each of the driver's licenses, you will get a temporary license for about 4 to 6 weeks before your driver's license card arrives, which you can use as an ID card, as I mentioned before. Remember that the process of obtaining driver's license is in Ontario may have some unique requirements, and these requirements might change with time. So check official resources for the most up-to-date information. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck on your journey with obtaining driver's license in Ontario.